Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, beautiful individual, wonderful. Today, I would like to speak a little about the long game, and I mean the really long game. Now, this is a little hard to explain because it is not truly hard to explain. Now, if we believe that only this life is the only life we have, there is little to nothing you can find in the materialistic physical world right here and now that you can find as an anchor to hold moral and ethical standards. Because if you believe this is the only life, you believe you are gone when you're dead. First and foremost, that can't even be a reality, because the closest we have to nothingness is dreamless sleep, and still we are there to a certain extent. It's not like we have gone completely away. This is exactly what happens when you die. Of course, we do have many past lives, and we have many future lives to go to. By you awakening, realizing, and truly following in deed and action your faith in reincarnation, you start to have a much grander picture of this whole Earth evolution. You start to see where we are aspiring to go, what we wish to put out into the world, and by also having reincarnation, what we do in this life and what we do 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, or 12 hours, 16 hours maybe, 8 hours sleep, and 7 days a week, 28 to 31 days a month, and 12 months a year. And we have this whole life ahead of us here. This whole life is, well, kind of a preparation and a transformation of your inner soul being within your body to prepare for a better and a more stable and as harmonious as possible. You build future organs for everyone. The future organs you are building happens when you are doing something that is outside the normal day-to-day consciousness, outside just passively flowing life by. It is active taking in consciously of impulses from the spiritual. That means when you sit still and close your eyes, feeling your emotions and your thoughts, and also your will impulses a little, when you can start to observe these, use these as instruments just as the scientist would use a stethoscope, a microscope, or a telescope to study outer nature. Spiritual science is about mastering our own inner faculties for perception, thinking, feeling, and willing. By you waking up to reincarnation, and that we are on the 5th on our way over to the 6th post-Atlantic civilization, and we have had before this the Greeks, the Greco-Roman civilization, before that the Egypto-Chaldean Babylonian civilization, before that the Persian, the ancient Persian, not the Persian as we know them today in the physical materialistic sense, but a much larger kingdom that was circa at the same time. And then you had the Indian kingdom. All of these civilizations have focused on specific faculties of the human being. And after the mystery of Golgotha, when Christ died for us on the cross, he infused earth and every human being with the ego, the center, your personality. The more individualized you become, purifying your center, your body, your inner desires, your interests, your aspirations, endeavors, any of these things you can become aware of. The more you grab a hold of these and molding and forming and shaping you for the future. That is how you master things. Repeat something long enough and you become good at it. It is the same with your physical body and your thinking, feeling, and willing. With reincarnation, you know this is not the end stop, and that is why we can gladly and with dignity work towards to the end of the path. We work till we die almost. No, we literally work till we perish. And then you have a much, much better preparation for the next life you're going to. Plus, you put out good things into the world. Inspiration, creativity, communication of the sublime sense. And last but not least, trying to describe the human condition as best as possible. Trying to make people want that curiosity for themselves and not be afraid of living, afraid of life. Celebrating life, be grateful for who you are, for what you have become, for what you are to achieve, and that you are not your past only, but here and now you work upon yourself and your past selves to become your future self. Actively and consciously here and now you can work upon your soul being. And you know you can do so because sit here with me for a tiny second. Right here and now you sit within your body. Within your body you have sensations of emotions swirling and twirling. How stable are you within them and how much do you understand them? Your thoughts is very clear because you can see them consciously, obviously. The emotions are more like a hazy mist of an ocean of sensations. And hence you need your thoughts to elucidate your emotions. They are all spiritual beings, which we are cooperating with and are also, well, creating this whole universe around us and this earth with. We are as made for this earth as the sun is made for as the plants are made for the sun and the moon and the waters, just as an example. And as the fish are made for water, we human beings need this earth to live physically. But when this body perishes, we will go further. Don't ever think there is ever a stop to your consciousness there. It is not possible to conceive. And it is only an abstract illusion. When you pass, let's say you pass, this is just now a, what should we call it, a dramatization. You lay on your deathbed. And when you feel your time is going, you go with dignity without fear. That is what we aspire and prepare for in a sense. And you can pass to the spiritual world consciously. Because if you die in panic, you just want to hide away. And then you fall sleeping into the afterlife. And that is a little harder, you see. And this is what you try to do in living reality too. Into consciously being alive in the embedded spiritual world around us and behind the whole physical world. This is truly about being curious and sincere about the endeavors to know God and the Christ, the hierarchy. To unfold what has already been given to us from the ancient masters of old, seeing where they came from at that time and what they pointed towards, because most of them were prophets that came in preparation for something, which has already been here, by the way, 2,000 years ago. We are not going to go into that, but thanks to that, a God made human form died for all of mankind, and what he did indeed brought a change for all of mankind. Before he came, it was a dark era where violence and cruelty, darkness and faithlessness ruled. That was at the time when Buddha was born, and his incarnation said, life is suffering. But after the event at Golgotha, the Christ, and the crucifixion, his death, the suffering can now be overcome with healing. You overcoming and understanding the suffering you've been through, creating your personality, your strength and faith within the world. your deepening of faith by knowledge, by elucidating your faith. It can never be taken away from you, and it is truly, it can't truly be described in words other than trying to describe the pictures and the reverent emotions around them. It truly is about faith, but it is not faith alone, that you walk on faith alone. You truly want knowledge for your faith. And believe me, the knowledge does not diminish the faith. It strengthens it immeasurably. If you study the right things, of course. Materialism has a beautiful tendency to make us confused in many ways. They are not wrong in that regard, but they are only describing physical events and molecules and so on. I am not against that, but that is not the one omega way in life. There are moral and ethical ways to go. There are unfoldment of our personality and our interests, our desires, and our life force, and our intellect, cleverness. Of course, every animal is clever, but a true spiritual human being is intelligent. Spirituality brings true intelligence, and combine that with cleverness, you have the whole of cosmic smartness. Combine that with love, of course. Love penetrates and pervades everything. And the more you awaken to that, life becomes a little easier. Of course, life is not meant to be easy. Life is not meant to be, I am on vacation. No. We are not meant to ebb and stagnate like that. We are meant to stay awake and, aware, curious, wondrous, having a will to live, having a longing and love to live. Just being who? It is a very distinct way of a state of being, and it comes from reverence, devotion, love and gratitude. Of course, with curiosity. So, I think this was all. And that is the long game. Truly waking up to this cosmic, long line of lives we have been through. And we are going to go through still. And also, by getting to know that you can never hide away anymore, because no matter where you hide, you will always come to incarnate again. So, better do the most of what you have now, instead of thinking that defeatist and victimhood mentality. It is about doing good to see the world prosper with deed, actions and creativity, inspiration, with spiritual pictures and concepts that can build an actual comprehensive worldview that you can live by. Not live by as a rule book, but live by as a living impulse that comes to consciousness within your soul, and you act in a certain moral and dignified way. I think this was everything. This was fun. I love to be a little creative. Of course, this is things I have studied and gotten to know through trials and errors, experimenting and experiencing, observing, and tried to, find out every single perspective of this world and see how many different human beings see things. Just seeing the many variations of it, and you will quickly come to realize that everything is divine, everything is part of this spiritual. Even the dark forces that once want us to stagnate and to hold us back and such, they are part of this human development today. And that is how we develop freedom. Overcoming evil, purifying and transforming what is evil within us, what has been a bother for our conscience, for example, our bad habits and maybe our outbreaks of wrath, or the seven vices: pride, sloth, lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, envy. These are beings that, in every case you are embodying these, are destructive. That is just how it is. Embody one of these 7 is destructive. You don't have space to feel love when you feel one of these. Gratitude overwins all of them. So be grateful. Celebrate life. Celebrate yourself and every individual you know and love. And, well, promote their individuality. Promote their personality. Probe them a little. Make them, well, have something come out of their own soul instead of having read that somewhere. Trying to, reflect a little actively here and now, like I am doing, like we are doing here and now by you following me. We are here reflecting, seeing the world in a much more beautiful light and with much more faith and hope, because one life only is no hope or faith at all. Seriously, you won't have any meaning. You won't have any direction in life. No, there will be more or less despair because you know what's coming in the end. But if you know that it is not the end, oh, the difference is so sublime. But it has to be realized as a reality within your soul. And just as a hypothetical, if it is not true and this is the only life, at least you, well, left behind a legacy. You can have your children you can be grateful and have your children be grateful for. But I am not even going into that entertainment. I know reincarnation because it is an experiential thing. But faith is required. I love you all. Thank you so much. May you keep being you. May you awaken to your inner personality and soul. May you find your values. May you be guided to the best of life you can have. And I pray for your success. And I pray for your health, your goodness. I pray for your understanding. And I pray that you will unfold and radiate gratitude and love as you are meant to in the future. I love you all. Thank you. Goodbye.